Good morning, everybody. It's my honor to follow on the very fascinating and captivating presentation of Vladimir Buzek, who has been since the very beginning one of the leading figures in this country, but also in Europe, on quantum technologies. Now, after his technical introduction, let me give you a quick overview where we stand on the policy side and why we consider this as a priority in Europe. Which button? This one? Okay. So, in 1999, we started in Europe the first program on quantum technologies, which were addressing the fundamental questions that the speaker has shown you before. Nowadays, if you look worldwide, there's quite a wide range of scientists that are investigating this area. And you can see that in the European Union, we are one of the leading areas in the world. We were the first one to have a dedicated program in it, and we still are leading in science and research in many areas around the world, although we see more and more areas of the world picking up and seeing this also as a priority. Now, in the beginning of the year, the Commission decided to launch a larger initiative on the quantum technologies to really address a number of fundamental issues. It has become a scientific, economic, and political priority across Europe. So the first point is we want to capitalize on the investment we've made so far in Europe on the research and in the science in quantum technologies. But we have now reached a certain level of maturity, as the previous speaker has shown you, that we can take this a step further and transform this into real-life applications, real-life products that you will see in your devices quite soon. We have also quite strong backing at the policy level from the national governments. We have just launched a joint research program where 24 European member states funding agencies come together on a joint program on quantum technology research. This is the first we ever had in Europe, such a large participation in a joint research program. Also, national initiatives are ramping up. Some started some time ago, the others are joining, but this is seen also at national level at such an importance that we get dedicated program. But also now, very interestingly, the industry is starting to include quantum technologies in their industrial roadmaps. In the past, they were just following the topics out of curiosity, but now they see their business future only if they get involved in quantum technologies. And then let's not forget that we are not alone, and other parts of the world with very large pockets are also investing in this field, have also understood that there is an industrial economic gain to be found, and therefore we need to keep investing in order to reap the benefits of our past programs. So, therefore, the quantum technologies has become a European policy. This has been laid out in a communication that was published at the beginning of the year, which lays down the position of the European Commission. This is complemented by a strategy document that was published by the quantum technologies community in Europe, involving scientists and industrialists, the so-called Quantum Manifesto. And then at the council meeting, a competitive council meeting early this year, this was endorsed by the heads of state, and if you read the conclusions of the council, you'll find a clear reference that Europe should get its act together in quantum technologies and move ahead with the launch of a flagship. So if you have the time and patience to read across the communication, you will see the main drivers we have behind launching a large initiative like the quantum technologies flagship. Without surprise, we want to keep the research and scientific excellence in Europe, but now, as I said, we want to take advantage, move into the next step, and get the engineering part so that we can find next time quantum computers, quantum simulators, quantum cryptography, and so on. But also, we see this as an industrial policy. We want the industry to join and define with their strategic roadmaps what are the specifications we need in science, in engineering, in order to develop real-life and tangible products. And of course, we use the flagship to really coordinate the European efforts. Instead of having 28 different national programs that duplicate themselves or in some areas might lack critical mass, we really want, with the flagship, pool all the efforts together at the European level and come collectively to a result, because for the moment there's no single country that has all the scientific or industrial capacities to build their own quantum industry. So just on a glance, the timeline, where do we stand? We have created in the summer a high-level expert group with a mission to represent and interface with the scientific and industrial community in quantum technologies. They have until spring next year to provide a commission or a recommendation of what are the goals, what are the research topics, what are the tangible products that should be targeted in the Quantum Technology Initiative, come also with a suggestion on how to put this into practice, what is the model, what are the funds, but also a governance structure. So then, by the summer next year, the Commission will include those recommendations into the next work program covering years 2018-2020 in the current framework program for research. Now, this is what we would call the ramp-up phase, which is taking the funding instruments we have for the moment to really bootstrap and launch the quantum technologies flagship and prepare the next framework program, which comes beyond, where we really put much more substantial means on the table to achieve the goals of the flagship. And also in parallel, to cover the end of the current Horizon 2020 program, we have the national initiative called Ktorá, where the research programs of the member states in quantum are coordinated. So I'll be very brief on the expert group. I just gave you an outline. We want to have a real transparent process. We don't want a small group of people sitting in a corner and deciding God knows how on what to be done in the future. So we have set up this high-level expert group that is the interface with the community at large, and we are quite happy that Professor Lania Buzek from the Slovak Academy of Science, the previous speaker, has accepted and is sitting on that board. And we are at this time focusing really on the technical and scientific parts. The engagement with the political level will come once we have the recommendation of this board. And I have to insist that their role, their mandate is really to reach out to all the constituency that wants to participate in the flagship, that wants to shape it. Their mission is there to reach out and make sure that all opinions are heard and they present a consensus at the end. I put on the bottom the link that you can follow if you're interested in the day-to-day activities. This is just a list of participants, 12 from academia, 12 from industry. If you want, you can read it later on. I'm now coming to my final slide. So in summary, the flagship initiative, we have started it. It's in the preparatory phase. Nothing is defined and settled yet. So if you want to take part of it, it's now to get engaged and make your opinion voiced. The quantum technologies, as I said at the beginning, is a European but also a national political priority, as you can see from the very wide support we have at highest level. But it's also economic priority, as the market prospects show. And we are in the Commission very happy that we have an initiative that is so widely backed by the national governments and by the industry that we will make it a success. Thank you for your attention.